Kristen Atkins, and I'm here with It's a Biblical Life Bible curriculum. And this month's theme, is on gratefulness. So, gratefulness is something that we really don't discuss a lot, maybe in passing, or maybe we teach our kids to say please and thank you. Your parents have taught you to say thank you for certain things at the store, or to teachers or kids when they give you something, you say thank you. We talk about it some at Thanksgiving, and it's no coincidence. This is getting ready to come out November. So it is something we talk about, but kind of superficially, I feel like. I wanted to dig a little deeper into gratefulness and go over a few specific things that we could be more grateful for. The verse for this week is Psalms 104 and 5. Enter into his gates with thanksgiving and into his courts with praise. Be thankful unto him and bless his name. For the Lord is good, his mercy is everlasting, and his truth endureth to all generations. And then the ESV is enter into his gates with thanksgiving and his courts with praise. Give thanks to him, bless his name, for the Lord is good. His steadfast love endures forever, and his faithfulness to all generations. So, those are telling me a few things that we should enter into his gates with thanksgiving, his gates, some sort of gate there, and his courts with praise, and we give thanks to him. We should bless his name. The Lord is good. His love endures forever, and his faithfulness and truth to all generations. So, to even our generation, from Adam and Eve all the way to us. So, because because we have lived in the United States, most likely you've bought this, but you were living in the United States or some wealthier country because you have access to internet, access to um, download PDFs. So I know that you are somewhat higher up on the socioeconomic status. You have lived more of a privileged life than most people. So the United States, we are usually handed things to us. That means we are usually given things that we, as children, maybe don't even understand where they come from. They're just always there. And we take those things for granted every day. We take those things for granted. And I listed several things that I take for granted and that we as a nation may take things for granted. But imagine that you lived in Africa for just a little while. My husband and my daughters visited Africa on a mission trip. And they were about 15 when they went. And so they went to Swaziland, which is at the bottom of Africa, the very bottom. And they saw houses that were more like huts, what you would imagine an Indian hut to be. Those huts were made of mud and straw and sticks and concrete, rocks, different things like that. So they had no indoor plumbing. They had no refrigerators, no microwaves, no ovens. They did have shelter, but they weren't like our homes. So part of the problem is that we as Americans have lived our whole lives and with the conveniences that we've had. So we've always had a refrigerator in our home. We've always had a microwave. We've always had a warm bed with a mattress and a cozy comforter, maybe some flannel sheets in the winter time, an electric blanket perhaps, or central heating and air. So in the winter time, the heat comes on automatically. We don't have to think about it. In the summer, air conditioning flows through the vents. We don't think about those things. And our parents pay the bills. We don't have to worry about how much those things cost. And Anyway, but what if you grew up in Africa and you lived in one of those huts and you didn't know any different? You didn't know there was, central air for air conditioning or heat. You didn't know there were things called refrigerators where you opened them up and looked in, and all the food you could ever imagine was in there. Milk in jugs, orange juice in jugs, and eggs in cartons, and all the food and the leftovers and pizza and boxes and just everything was in there. What in the world? You wouldn't even know those things existed. And you didn't even know that indoor plumbing was a thing. You always just go outside and do the things you do in the bathroom. You had to go outside to do that. But one day, someone comes along and says, "Hey, we're taking you and your family to America to live. Do you want to go?" And you say, "Sure, we want to go. Yeah, let's go." All right, and we have your housing all set up, and we're going to just let you live there. We have this place for you to live. It's a small house, very small house. It's 1 or 2 bedrooms and a bathroom and a kitchen. And you say, "Okay," and get on the the airplane. You go, and when you arrive, you are in shock. This small little house is a mansion to you. And you walk in a kitchen and you're like, "What is this big silver thing?" And you open it up and cool air bursts into your face and you're like, "Milk and jugs and the eggs and cartons," and you are like, "What? What? How in the world is this possible?" Then you go into a bathroom with a tub, running water. Do you see the difference? You're going to be much more thankful not having been around it all those years because you took it for granted because you've always had it. So from now on, just try to think of those things more from a thankfulness standpoint because those things could be taken away. And we need to be thankful to God whether we are privileged enough to have grown up with those things or they're just given to us. And actually, they are just given to us because of God and because of our parents and their hard work and all the things that they do for us to provide those things for us. Um, they work hard, and they provided a home for you and a house for you, and all the things that go in the refrigerator, and they pay the sewer bill and the water bill for your plumbing. I made a list there of things that I was grateful for. And one of those things, I'm trying to find it here, one of those things I thought I was grateful for was my antibiotic because I was so sick one day. I'm not sure where it is, but anyway, I was so sick for like a week, and I had sinus pressure, and like just my head hurt so bad, so bad. And what did I do? I made a phone call and I said, "I need an appointment to see the doctor." And they said, "Come on in." And she wrote me a prescription for antibiotic. And in 2 days, I felt better. But in Africa, they don't have, call a doctor. They walk for hours and hours to go to church. And they don't have medicine. Like, they don't call someone. And they may not even have phones to call anybody. Um, so make less get, medical care, antibiotics. So I just want you to think about that, how fortunate we are, and we take everything for granted. We also take entering into his courts and into his gates, thanksgiving and praise. And we sometimes go to the house of the Lord begrudgingly, and we don't even want to be there, and our parents are dragging us there. But we should be so thankful for God for just our material possessions that we have. We are free also in this country to assemble together. That means we don't have to be afraid of being imprisoned for going to church. Some countries do not let their citizens freely worship. Um, So that is another thing to be thankful for. I just pray that you would think about this week what material possessions, what material things you are going to be more thankful for, more appreciative of. God's mercy is compassion shown to someone whom it's within his power to harm. And that mercy, God's mercy, lasts forever to all generations. So from Adam and Eve, his mercy has lasted even to us. So if anything else, we should be thankful for that mercy. Don't spend 1 second complaining about what you don't have, because it can all be taken away from you. Just ask the thousands of homeless people that live in big cities or in small cities all across the United States. I mean, they probably never thought, unless they were born that, in that poverty situation, that that's how they would end up. So we need to never complain about what we don't have, but always focus on all the things that we do have. I hope you got something out of this, and I will talk to you next week.